I have noticed several cultists on YouTube have made videos that insist people who lack a belief in the gods are immoral and unethical, or indeed even criminal. Specifically, one cultist who goes by the name, quote, righteous response, unquote, has even called me, quote, immoral, unquote, just because I do not believe in any or all of his gods. Another cultist, in the comment section of several of my videos, has insisted that I even hate his gods for the same reason criminals hate police officers. My lack in believing in his gods, and therefore I cannot hate them, seems to have not impinged a tiny fraction of a bit on his dull, bovine stupidity wit, or lack of wit. But is that belief true? Do people who lack belief in the gods tend to be more immoral or more unethical or more criminal than people who believe in the gods? As far as I've been able to find, there is no evidence at all that suggests a lack of belief in the gods correlates, let alone causes, immoral, unethical, or criminal behavior. In fact, the evidence appears to show a proportional inverse correlation. Data collected from the world's industrialized countries show that the more religious a country's population, the more violent and criminal that country is. The countries with the most number of atheists are also those with the least number of crimes. One need not take my word for it, of course. The data is readily available via internet by searching with Google. It took me only a few minutes to find data for industrialized countries' crime rates, and another few minutes to find data for industrial countries' religious affiliations by the number of population correlated with who is religious and who is not. I must point out that correlation does not equal causation. The fact that religious populations are more violent and criminal than atheist populations does not mean religion causes violence or other crimes. However, the lack of a correlation between crime and atheism does refute the claim that people who lack belief in gods are criminal or immoral. A week ago, on Thursday afternoon, I went to town to deposit 2 paychecks into my checking account. That was Wells Fargo. The bank's walk-in service was closed, but at 5:38 p.m., their drive-up service window was still open and available. While I sat in my automobile, I sent in my 2 paychecks and a few $100 bills, and I asked that one of the $100 bills be converted into $20 bills. A few minutes later, I received a deposit slip and a fistful of $20 bills. The teller had misunderstood my instructions, which I had written down, and anybody could have or should have been able to follow such simple instructions. She gave me $100 in $20 bills for the $100 bill that I sent in, but she also cashed one of my checks and sent an additional $500 in $20 bills out to me. This rather annoyed me, since I was on my way out of town on vacation to Denver, and I did not want to carry that much currency with me. However, I was busy because I wanted to beat the evening traffic out of town, and I figured it is better to have too much currency than too little, so I drove away. The next morning, 300 miles away in Denver, I discovered that the bank teller had deposited both of my paychecks, and then mysteriously gave me back $600 in $20 bills. She had not cashed the $500 check that I had assumed she had cashed. She deposited it. I spent Friday morning driving around Denver looking for a Wells Fargo franchise to get the problem fixed. I got hopelessly lost, and I barely made it out of Denver alive due to the insane traffic and the more insane city planning. If you've ever had to drive through Denver, you know what the bloody hell I'm talking about. The next Thursday, my vacation then over, I went out of my way to go back to that original Wells Fargo office and return the $500. When I told the manager that I was there to return $500 that did not belong to me, all of the tellers and the managers gaped at me in astonishment. They were flabbergasted, as my grandparents might say. They were astonished that someone would return $500 that had been accidentally paid out. Personally, I thought their astonishment very odd, since surely this problem happens all the time. The town population is almost entirely Catholic, though scores of them are even self-flagellants, which was once popular in northern New Mexico, though I didn't see anybody flogging themselves in the lobby at the time. I was surprised at their surprise. This is not the first time a teller accidentally gave me hundreds of dollars too much. It occurred also in California, and in that case I also returned the excess the next day, having discovered the error. The teller in California who made the error sent to me a very nice thank you letter and also 2 pounds of C's chocolate. Would the cultists in YouTube have been as honest as I for what they consider no reason at all? I bloody well doubt it. By the way, I see yet another survey result has been published in the news regarding charity among Christians and atheists. This time the survey was between physicians in the United States. The survey found that physicians who lacked belief in the gods were more likely to perform charity medical work by 4% than Christian physicians. My conclusion is therefore inescapable. There is no evidence that people who lack belief in the gods are immoral, unethical, or criminal more than people who believe in the gods. In fact, the evidence shows clearly otherwise.